You had a propane-powered car?
Yeah, in England we call it LPG, like aftermarket LPG conversion, so it ran on propane. I think that's one of the only cars.
You need a battery and a bigger battery and a plug. Yeah, the Honda, I mean, Toyota made a great Camry, a natural gas Camry.
Oh yeah.
And it, you know, it had 280 miles range, better than any fuel cell car.
Well, my car had a tank that was 44 litres and it would do 280 miles.
There you go, 280 miles. Put it in drive, there you go. That's it. So each battery is nominally 12 volts. It's really about 14.2, 14.3 maximum.
Yeah. They're all kind of under the...
They're on the tray on the bottom. 24 batteries, I'm sorry. In a tray on the bottom, and now you see that you don't have any regen on, so if you put this as minor regen, is the B mode up there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that has the lesser regen mode.
So you just click it off when you're ready to drive again.
Or you could just leave it on.
Oh,
it doesn't
on the freeway. Slowing down.
Yeah, on the freeway it actually, we take it off and then just drive, unless it's stop and go driving. The EV1 was sort of not quite as good in regenerative braking as this. E-Box has 100% regen braking. So you actually bring it to a stop with the regenerative braking.
Oh, I see. So there's no friction braking.
You can use, there's friction braking for emergencies, but it doesn't, you can bring it to a stop with the regen alone. So this is sort of, slow driving. It isn't really stop and go. You could pull into the center lane, that's the HOV lane.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to.
Even if I was by myself?
Even if you're by yourself, you can, because it has the silver stickers. So now you can take off the B mode, yeah.
It's not doing anything anyway.
Right, because you're just, it's most efficient when you're driving without braking to just drive like this, with no regen. See, and actually for what they do, look out, all of these cars could be, and that's it, put it in the B mode. Exactly right. All of these cars could be electric cars, because almost, people just drive around town. That's all they do.
Yeah, we're doing exactly the same thing that they are now.
Yeah, just driving around town. So once in a while you take the car and go off to San Francisco or something, but you could also drive to the train and take a train if we had trains.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, we don't have trains in this country. Okay, so we're driving along in this electric car, and what do you think about this, Patrick? What do you think about it so far?
Well, on the highway it drives exactly the same. We have a, which I'm not really proud of, we have an Xterra. It's like a supercharged, ridiculous thing, and I was just driving it this weekend. And particularly between 60 and 70 miles an hour, you can just be kind of looking ahead of you and just trickle up from 60 to 70 really without meaning to. And within that 10 mile an hour range, the car feels exactly the same. There's no kind of lag of power, there's no cruising on the highway, and this is basically exactly the same as driving that car.
So it feels the same as the Xterra.
No different.
I find it tends to creep up too, that's because you can hardly tell you're moving.
Yeah, and you don't need to put much pressure on the accelerator to maintain the same speed, so you kind of just look down and you've gone a little bit further. If you try to maintain 65, it can be quite difficult almost. The only thing you notice is just the acceleration from a standstill, but even that isn't particularly...
There's one lady took a test drive in our Honda EV, and she didn't even know it was an electric car. I forgot to tell her there was an electric car, and she said, "Gee, it's awful quiet." It just drives like a regular car. If you don't know it's electric, how could you tell?
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of Honda EV do you have?
Well, we had one. Honda took it back and crushed it.
Which one was that?
The Honda EV. It was like this.
Back when around the time the EV won.
Yeah, it was an all-electric 4-passenger hatchback.
They didn't make very many of them then.
330.
Really?
They were great cars, and we'd still be driving it if they hadn't crushed it. So you're doing very well. You're moving back and forth from the B to the no B mode. And that's exactly right. We use the regenerative braking as a brake.
Sometimes when I drive the exterior, I shift into neutral down a hill, so I'm used to kind of like messing around with the shifters.
In the E-Box or in the T0, you actually can use the regenerative braking, you know, to come to a halt. The regenerative braking alone brings it to a halt.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know, just taking your foot off the accelerator means it comes to a stop. You would probably really enjoy those cars too.
Yeah.
You know, and this car is limited to 120 miles range. You know, I'm going to go to LA after we're done with this, but you know, that's not really that much of a limitation. 120 miles range, and really we can plug it in anywhere. You know, we adapted it so it just plugs in.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for the first 120 miles a day, that's what most of our business is done. And it seems kind of strange not to have more people be allowed to have these, because you know, once you have one of these, the money that you save not buying gas actually pays for your solar system. Of course, living in an apartment, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But we need to change those laws. We need to have laws so that condos and apartments can have solar systems. You know that the DWP is going to do that. There's going to be people in apartments can share in a solar system.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you passed up that guy on the right.
Yeah, I was actually I was going to pull in behind him, then I decided that I would do the same thing I would usually do in my
So you don't find this thing inadequate in terms of power for an SUV.
Yeah.
It's kind of comparable as an SUV.
Yeah, because it feels exactly the same. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on this protest at Toyota headquarters. And this is our RAV4-EV. I was going to mention that we're going to have a parade of electric cars on the 17th. There's going to be everyone is going to have. I think this is 181,000 miles of no gas and no smog check. On the 17th in Santa Monica, there's going to be a parade of RAV4-EVs. So if you can make it, that would be great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For people that have RAVs and people that want